the government couldn't even pay its elite craftsmen at Deir el-Medina.
There came to be a frustration with the Egyptian administration. Promises are made and then broken. Promises are made and then forgotten. And, of course, as usual, it is the little man who suffers.
The tomb workers faced starvation. Putting down their tools, the villagers went on strike. The first recorded industrial strike in history.
We have no clothes, no oil, no fish, no vegetables. Send a message to our good lord, the Pharaoh, asking for them. And send another message to our boss, telling him to provide us with emergency rations.
The little people wouldn't take it anymore. And they did go on strike. And they did protest their not being paid. Didn't do them much good. At least for a couple of months, they had to make several protests. But additionally, they went off in search of treasure to try and pay their bills, if you will.
In desperate circumstances, the tomb builders did the unthinkable. They knew the secret location of the royal tombs, and now they betrayed the pharaohs of the new kingdom and violated their sacred burial chambers. Even the tomb of Ramesses the Great did not escape desecration. The confessions beaten out of the few that were caught allow us a glimpse of the magnificent treasures they found.
We fetched our copper picks and tunneled into this royal tomb. We discovered the king's mummy lying at the back of the tomb. It was covered with gold from head to toe, and the mummy cases were also lined with silver and gold inside and out, and were studded with all sorts of precious stones. We tore off the gold, took the amulets and jewelry. We split the gold we'd found into equal shares, and then we sailed back across the river to Thebes.
By 1080 BC, most of the treasures buried with the pharaohs had been plundered. The mountain of gold had been stripped bare. The same people who had built the royal tombs had desecrated them. The very men who had assisted the pharaohs in their quest for immortality had taken it away. As order broke down within Egypt, the empire finally collapsed. States in the Near East were no longer loyal to the Egyptian pharaoh. Even Nubia seized their chance for independence, cutting Egypt's last lifeline, its access to gold.
The loss of Nubia meant the loss of gold. And the loss of gold means that you do not have any clout on the international political scene. So other people are going to become the dominant ones. And Egypt becomes a little bit of a backwater.
In a final humiliating act, the priests of Karnak were forced to perform a sorry duty. They gathered together 40 royal mummies from the desecrated tombs and carried them to secret locations where they might finally find peace. founder of the new kingdom. Thutmosis III, warrior and empire builder. Even Ramesses, the last great pharaoh. Once they had been treated like gods. Now their bodies were piled up in caves in a mountainside, where they would rest for 3,000 years. It seemed that Ramesses' struggle for immortality had been in vain. Less than 200 years after the end of his reign, the empire had fallen, and with the death of Ramesses XI, the Ramesside dynasty became extinct. The new kingdom was over.
During the New Kingdom, Egypt became this mixture of reality and fiction that has always represented the most fascinating aspect of this civilization. The reality of a very powerful and successful empire, but also the fiction of a display of power that goes well beyond the reality.
All the other empires of the ancient world tried to emulate Egypt. From the Assyrians to the Persians, the Greeks and the Romans, you always look back to the greatest empire of all, which is the Empire of Egypt. Everybody wants to be like the Egyptian pharaohs.
Today, millions still come to pay tribute to the pharaohs. 3,000 years later, Egypt's golden empire is still conquering the imagination of the world.